Good evening. Welcome to the special year-end edition of Northeast Diary. It is the end of 2020 and we are all set to welcome a new year.
No more champagne and the fireworks are through. Here we are, me and you, feeling lost and feeling blue. It's the end of the party and the morning seems so grey, so unlike yesterday. Now's the time for us to say Happy New Year, Happy New Year, may we all.
Friends, 2020 has been a tough year full of important lessons for all of us. Due to the COVID pandemic, we have had to change the way we live our lives. We learned to look at life with a completely different perspective. It is human nature to persist and persevere in difficulties and come out with flying colors. Today, we will look back at the special stories from the lovely Northeast region which warmed our hearts in this difficult year. Manipur is a small state of India. It is famous for its rich art and culture and sports. The Manipur dance is one of the selected classical dances of the country. Apart from it, the Phung Cholom, a dance from involving acrobatics, martial arts, and use of a hand-beaten drum called the Phung is also very famous. Today we bring you a story on Phung Cholom of Manipur. More from Imphal correspondent J.J. Thokcham.
This enthralling and heart-thumping sound is reverberated from the instrument called Phung of Manipur, which is also known as the Manipuri drum by others. Phung Cholom is a combination of sound of Phung and the body movement of the dancers, mainly men, which demand graceful and acrobatic skills. It takes around 10 years to conquer the art form and get the right body balance. The premier dance academy of Manipur, Jawaharlal Nehru Manipur Dance Academy, imparts the knowledge of Phung and its movement to the youths. The guru of Sankirtana Phung of this academy, Kirtimayum Kriti, said that
the Phung Cholom should be performed maintaining a unique standing stance known as Thongkhong Saba, illustrating an image of strength and agility. The Phung, by itself, enjoys a privilege in the dances of Manipur. There are several kinds of drums. It's intended for a particular occasion. The Phung is a soul of Manipuri Natya Sankirtana music and classical Manipuri dance, and is an indispensable part of all social and religious ceremonies in Manipur. Phung is very important for the Manipuri Vaishnava culture. It is used mainly in wedding ceremonies and Shraddha ceremonies and many ceremonies of the Manipuri people.
J.J. Thokchom from AIR News Imphal for Northeast Diaries.
Organic farming is driving rural development in Sikkim. In terms of agricultural practices, Northeast India has traditionally been organic and consumption of chemicals is far less than the rest of the country. Our correspondent Saikat Sarkar brings us the details of how the tiny Himalayan state of Sikkim is leading organic farming practices in the country.
Sikkim was the country's first state to officially adopt organic farming in 2003 and to convert entirely into organic in 2016. Sisir Khatka, who is also a qualified 3D animation instructor, speaks.
सिक्किम सरकार जैविक अभियान पर काम कर रही थी, तो हमने भी निस्वार्थ इस अभियान को सहयोग किया। किसान समूह, विद्यार्थी, किसान और सिक्किम के जनमानस को जैविक अभियान की महत्व बारे जागरूक किया। 2016 में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने सिक्किम को पूर्ण रूप से जैविक राज्य घोषित कर दिए। हमने सुंदर सिक्किम जैविक सिक्किम के नाम से एक ब्रांड खड़ा किया, जिससे हम सिक्किम के सभी उत्पादनों को वैल्यू एडिशन करते हैं और किसान को उचित मूल्य जैविक उत्पादनों का मिलता है। इससे पूरी भारत में जैविक अभियान किया जाए तो भारत अपनी जैविक उत्पादनों को विश्व में बेचकर पूर्ण रूप से आत्मनिर्भर राष्ट्र बन सकता है। छोटी सी राज्य सिक्किम की तरह समुचित भारत ने अगर जैविक खेती को मन बना लिया तो पूरी दुनिया में भारत सबसे ज्यादा जैविक उत्पादन करने वाला बड़ा राष्ट्र बन सकता है।
With Diliram Dulal, this is Saikat Sarkar for Northeast Diary for AIR News Sikkim.
A new horizon is opened up to the Northeast region with the opening of the India-Bangladesh waterway. The trial run for shipping of goods from other parts of India to the Northeast region via Bangladesh was launched recently and arrived at Sonamura in Tripura. This Indo-Bangladesh waterway will make transportation of goods to the states of the Northeastern region easier and affordable and have a far-reaching impact to widen the scopes for communication, transport and trade scenario in the region. More from our Agartala correspondent, Reena Nongmai Tham.
Under this new initiative, a Bangladeshi vessel trekking 93-kilometer waterways carrying 10 tons of cement from Daukandi in Bangladesh arrived on 5th September at a newly built river port at Sonamura on the Gomati River. With this first consignment arrival, the Inland Waterways Protocol route of Sonamura-Daukandi between Tripura and Bangladesh is formally made operational, and this will reduce the distance of transportation from West Bengal's Haldai port to Tripura by 600 kilometers. On the occasion, Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Deb said that if the northeastern states carry goods from other parts of India through waterways via Bangladesh, 25 to 30% of transportation costs will be reduced. The minister further said that Tripura alone imported various commodities of around 20 crore rupees annually, including 630 crore rupees from Bangladesh by road or by train, while Tripura exported bamboo, rubber, tea, pineapple and other goods worth around 2,000 crore rupees annually. Mr. Dev expressed hope that from now onwards, export and import will be made by waterways. On the occasion, India High Commissioner in Dhaka, Riva Ganguly Das said the operationalization of the Sonamura-Daukandi road will reduce the cost of trade between the two countries. The High Commissioner also urged the business community of both sides to avail of the opportunity of enhanced trade offered by the increased connectivity and existing synergies between India and Bangladesh. This is Reena Nomaitem for Northeast Diary from AIR News, Agartala.
In today's world, youth today are more attracted towards mobile phones and tablets for entertainment rather than carrying a bulky book along with them. But a young lady in Arunachal Pradesh is making an effort to inculcate the habit of reading books among the youth and has set up a street library in Nirjuli in the capital city Itanagar. Here is a report from our Itanagar correspondent Rakesh Dole.
Murang Reena is a 30-year-old young lady who is on a mission to instill the habit of reading books among the youth in her locality. Ms. Reena says that reading helps children in developing cognitive skills, which improves the emotional intelligence and decision-making capacity.
रीडिंग राइटिंग स्किल्स जो है वेरी मच पुअर और इसको एनहेंस करना बहुत जरूरी है. दैट्स व्हाई आई स्टार्टेड दिस. एंड सेकेंडली व्हाई रीडिंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट बिकॉज वैसे भी आजकल स्मार्टफोन्स आने के बाद से क्या हो गया, बच्चा जो है एकदम दिमाग जो डल हो गया. दे डोंट हैव द कैपेसिटी और द पावर टू रीजनिंग कैपेसिटी खत्म हो गया. जो आता है हमारा कॉग्निटिव स्किल्स से, और कॉग्निटिव स्किल्स कैसे डेवलप किया जाता है? बाय रीडिंग. क्योंकि जो हमारा जो ब्रेन है यहाँ पे एक प्री फ्रंटल कॉर्टेक्स होता है, उसको डेवलप करने के लिए रीडिंग करना है. तो दैट हेल्प्स इन मेकिंग डिसीजंस, प्लानिंग और इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस को भी बढ़ावा देता है.
The street library stays open 24/7 and now it has also started lending books.
रात को भी आके पढ़ सकते हैं. हमने जैसे लाइट्स लगा दिया है ताकि जो बच्चे जो है बेझिझक शर्म ना करके पढ़ाई करें. लेकिन हमारे जो यंग बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स है वो लोग जस्ट गुजर के चले जाते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव डिसाइडेड टू इम्प्रोवाइज माय लाइब्रेरी फैसिलिटी. अभी से बच्चे जो है आगे लैंडिंग भी कर सकते हैं.
For Northeast Diary, this is Rakesh Dole, AIR News, Itanagar.
Since time immemorial, Naga ancestors passed down their rich tradition and customs through oral practice. One such practice of the forefathers is the art of making pottery, which is made exclusively with the help of hands, which does not involve the will. Our Kohima correspondent Asuno tells us about a village where this art is still practiced.
Mimi village, one of the oldest villages of Kipri Aspirational District in Molomika Range, is known for its art of pottery since centuries. Lolo, a potter, to keep the art alive in her village, she formed a self-help group where nearly 30 women potters are practicing this art form.
Our group is making the pottery in different shapes and sizes, such as cooking pots, kettle, filter, flower pots, and so on. It takes 1 day to make a small pot, while for bigger pots it takes around 2 days. To make these pots, we have to go to far areas or sometimes at our field to collect the raw materials, which include black and red soil and rocks. In a day, we can fetch 1 sack of raw materials, and these days we do not get much. After fetching the soil, we later pound the soil and dry it for days. These days, girl child are sent to schools, and there are only few people to learn this art, and we never know, one day this art may see natural death.
These women use pinching, coiled and beaten method to make vessels of daily use. The vessels have distinctive purposes, shapes and names according to occasions. To make a pot, they beat the clay with bamboo logs on a wooden slab and add water to it. The pot are pinched into a basic shape and left to dry to leather hard. They are then beaten to a precise shape using tools made of bamboo, wood and clay. After this, they are fired in a pit with local wood. The final product is then used for household purpose and ready to be sold. Though it is rather sad to see the manual, authentic art and culture being taken over by machinery, technology and new industrial innovations, this dying art of Naga indigenous pottery making needs urgent attention to protect and preserve the cultural heritage. With Lipichin, this is Asonyo for Northeast Diary for AIR News, Kohima.
Meghalaya is the third largest producer of strawberry in the country after Maharashtra and Punjab. Meghalaya produces about 350 metric tons of strawberry annually. Klestar CM, a 58-year-old Divyang farmer from Klimolia, a small hamlet in West Khasi Hills, became a successful farmer and the first to introduce the growth of famous California sweet Charlie strawberry in the district, which was considered unsuitable for the fruit due to climatic conditions. More on this from a Shillong correspondent, Samir Verma.
Klestar CM has become a well-known farmer and a master trainer in different agriculture departments and for introducing strawberry cultivation in West Khasi Hills. Speaking to the AIR News, he said that his passion and determination helped him in pursuing his dream. He was not able to walk properly since the age of 13. CM traveled to many states in India and abroad to attend workshops and training on agriculture. He had seen a report about the cultivation of strawberries in a TV channel, and since then he decided to cultivate strawberry in his district. He went to meet the district horticulture officer to inquire about the matter but was made fun of and teased by the official. They said that strawberry will not grow in any part of West Khasi Hills since the climate is not suitable. But his passion did not let him stop. He attended a workshop in Shillong and an officer in charge of strawberry planting gave him 50 strawberry saplings. In April 2005, his garden turned red with Sweet Charlie strawberry from California. He won the first prize at Strawberry Festival held in Shillong.
In my life as a farmer of this place, it's changed to the high level because at the first time when I grew the plant, because only one time of harvesting, and then when I grew I cultivate the strawberry, but then running all round the harvesting, and so the profit is highest. And I want to purchase the many plot of land.
Klestar CM grows strawberries on 3 acres, but due to heavy rain and the pandemic this year has affected his strawberry market. He has also started the nursery mission of strawberries and delivers training to motivate youth and farmers to take up sustainable farming. This is Samir Verma for Northeast Diary from AIR News, Shillong.
In the hill state of Mizoram, climate change is already becoming a ground reality for scores of farmers. Changing rainfall patterns and rising temperatures are forcing them to shift from traditional farming to grow exotic crops. While switching over to cultivate new crops, the farmers have started to earn a good income. For more details, let us move to our Aizawl correspondent, Irene.
The Horticulture Department in Mizoram introduced some fruit plants and vegetable varieties which can withstand the changing climate. One of them is dragon fruit, which originated from Thailand, and this plant is heat resistant and can survive in erratic rains. According to officials, dragon fruit cultivation is helping farmers to adapt to rising temperature and erratic rainfall. In the state, Lunglei district is the forerunner in dragon fruit cultivation and is reaping the largest harvest. The department has been extending training and all assistance to farmers for good harvest and production of dragon fruit.
To each of the beneficiary, we had given 600 numbers of planting materials and 50 kgs of NPK, one number of secateurs for operating and pruning their dragon fruit, and one number of 16 liters knapsack sprayer, which is used for protection of the plants from disease and pests. We also had given 10 numbers of plastic crates, which they can utilize for collecting their products and their tools and implements which they use for the farm. Each of the farmers is given rupees 60,000 for preparation of trellis and interculture operations.
A woman farmer, Larin Omi, says
the production of fruit is about 4 quintals. We sold in local market at the rate of 250 rupees. The fruit is very useful for our family. Our income is also increased year by year.
This year, over 9,000 fruits have been produced and more is being expected. Officials said hundreds of farmers are now cultivating dragon fruit and they are about to script a new success story. For Northeast Diary, this is Irene from AIR News, Aizawl.
We know that Assam is well known for its tea and breathtaking tea gardens. It is the largest tea producing area in the country. A large number of people employed in the tea gardens of Assam. Our Guwahati correspondent Manas Pratim Sharma takes a look at how the tea industry is dealing with the effects of the COVID pandemic.
As per estimate, the tea industry had to face around 1,200 crore rupees loss in the first part of the year. However, the best part was, despite loss, not a single tea garden worker had to lose his or her job during the pandemic period. According to a report, Assam has around 1.5 lakh small tea growers who contribute sizably to the total tea produced in the state. Notably, Assam produced half of the tea of the country. It is also learned that along with the pandemic, there were two major factors that affected the Assam's tea industry this year. All these cumulatively have brought down production on one hand, but also led to hike in prices. But of late, per kg of tea has been sold between rupees 54 to 55. There is a huge demand of Assam green tea in Middle East, China, Russia, among other countries. Guwahati Tea Auction Center is also expecting a boom. This is Manas Pratim Sharma for Northeast Diary reporting from AIR News, Guwahati.
Northeast Diary broadcast interviews and speeches of many interesting personalities this year. Today we bring you a choice selection of 4 such interviews and speeches. The Tetsio sisters, Home Minister Shri Amit Shah, Dornier Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, and Member of Parliament from Mizoram, C. Lalro Sanga. Friends, the Tetsio sisters are known to all. They have been enlivening the music space with their lovely melodies. Here are the excerpts of an interview with inspiring ladies.
Dear listeners, I am Asonyo. This evening, let me introduce you to the wonderful and talented 4 sisters from Nagaland who had traveled the country to spread the music of their ancestors and preserving their traditional folk songs and instruments. These sisters, along with their brother, have become Nagaland's cultural ambassadors.
Hello everyone, I'm Mercy.
Hi, I'm Kuvela.
Hey, I'm Aziz.
Hi, I'm Lulu and we are the Teteo Sisters.
We are a group of siblings who sing primarily folk music and fusion, and we are known for taking Naga folk music to a global audience. And we are produced by our brother who's also a musician, Haseve.
We have been very fortunate to be on this great journey of living our lives and doing what we love most.
It is an honor and responsibility we take seriously. There are so many young people looking up to us, and we have really tried to be a good example as professionals
and hopefully strong women and decent human beings. This moment of pride and also utmost humility to stand on a platform and be the voice of our people or the state or the country for that moment.
We are not music activists, but we definitely stand for equality, women's rights, safety of children, and the right to dignity of life.
Yeah, I know it's not easy, but I'll try saying yes.
We also want to continue passing it on and sharing it across while keeping it relevant and contemporary.
That's why we feel strongly about fusion and experimentation and collaborations, because that is our contribution to our own history as much as preserving the songs in their original forms is.
यारियों में होने ना फासले ए नाराजगी कागजी सारी तेरी मेरे सोनिया सुन ले मेरी दिल दिया गल्ला तरंगे नार नार बेके अख नाल अख नू मिला के दिल दिया गल्ला.
We all have to take more pride in our culture and also show respect for others' culture.
Believe in yourself and keep pushing yourself. Network, connect, learn, adapt, and don't ever give up.
Can we go driving, camping, a grand road trip today? It's gonna be bumpy, jumpy, but we'll be on our way. Catching the sunrise, sunset, chasing butterflies, making new memories, friendship when we're on the road to somewhere. Where do we go? Me and my yard.
Next, we bring you excerpts of the speech of Home Minister Shri Amit Shah and Donaire Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh on the occasion of Destination Northeast 2020, a 4-day virtual event organized from 27 September 2020. Destination Northeast 2020 got underway with the theme Emerging Delightful Destinations. Inaugurating the event, Home Minister Amit Shah said that Northeast, with its rich and natural beauty, folk culture and art, is fully capable of becoming a major center of world tourism. He said,
पूर्वोत्तर के बगैर भारत और भारत की संस्कृति दोनों अधूरे हैं. जब तक पूर्वोत्तर की संस्कृति भारतीय संस्कृति के साथ मिलती नहीं है, भारतीय संस्कृति की पूरी कल्पना ही नहीं हो सकती है, क्योंकि पूर्वोत्तर की संस्कृति भारतीय संस्कृति का, भारत का गहना है. लोक सांस्कृतिक कलाओं से भरपूर एक क्षेत्र विश्व भर के पर्यटन का केंद्र बनने के सभी गुण रखता है. और मैं मानता हूं कि इतनी सारी बोलियां, इतनी सारी भाषाएं शायद ही दुनिया के कभी किसी क्षेत्र के अंदर बोली जाती है.
He also said that peace in the Northeast is very important for the economic development, promotion of tourism and employment in the region. And now excerpts of the speech by Donaire Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh.
तो हर कोई अक्सर यही कहता, do something to bring Northeast closer to rest of India, कि कुछ ऐसा कीजिए कि पूर्वोत्तर को शेष भारत के नजदीक लाया जा सके. लेकिन अपने प्रवास के अनुभव से मेरे मन में ये प्रश्न उठा कि क्यों कोई ये नहीं कहता कि ब्रिंग रेस्ट ऑफ इंडिया क्लोज टू नॉर्थ ईस्ट, कि शेष भारत को पूर्वोत्तर के नजदीक लाया जाए, क्योंकि पूर्वोत्तर को शेष भारत से जो सीखना था उससे कहीं अधिक मात्रा में शेष भारत के पास पूर्वोत्तर से सीखने के लिए था। और इसलिए ये कल्पना में आया कि हम डेस्टिनेशन नॉर्थ ईस्ट के माध्यम से पूर्वोत्तर को देश के भिन्न भिन्न भागों में रेप्लिकेट करेंगे, ताकि लोगों के ध्यान में आए कि आखिर पूर्वोत्तर है क्या, व्हाट नॉर्थ ईस्ट इज ऑल अबाउट।
Now we bring to you excerpts of an interview with Member of Parliament from Mizoram, C. Lalro Sanga. He had retired as Director General of Doordarshan. In an interview with our Aizawl correspondent Irene, MP Lalro Sanga deliberated and expressed on varied subjects and current issues of developments in Mizoram.
Mizoram's lone Lok Sabha member, Mr. C. Lalro Sanga, is optimistic for the future of Mizoram. He said,
Mizoram is well on its way to development. It's quite a developing state among the northeastern states. Apart from the fact that it is a hilly state and a tribal state and it is a landlocked state, the state has inherent problems of development, but nevertheless, the state has been doing quite well on almost all sectors. The state government has adopted the socio-economic development policy on which it is closely working on, and this is meant for overall socio and cultural and educational development of the state. Mizoram has a huge potential for agriculture, and the horticulture development has been on the forefront of its development. Once the COVID-19 subsides, the state will grow on a much faster pace. I would say overall the state government is doing quite well and people are quite happy with the performance of the state government.
Mizoram is appreciated for peace and also tops in happiness index. Mr. Lalro Sanga said he attributes this to the healthy minds and spiritual state of the people.
Especially those youth who have come back in the wake of the COVID-19 and lockdowns in different parts of the country. The state government has opened a portal for employment, youth portal also, and I think this will be of much help to the youth of the state. And we are working with the entrepreneurship development institutes in other parts of the country as well. Well, I'm happy to learn that our happiness index is quite high. Mizoram as a whole, we are a happy people, and when we are alone also we are usually quite happy. Our happiness does not perhaps come from material positions. I think it has a lot to do with our spiritual and mental state. I think the happiness index is also high, also to a large extent because of the provisions the state government has been making. The health care system, even though not so very high, it's quite good enough for most people. And educational system also is providing them support. People are happy because their essential needs, their daily needs are being provided, and there is no starvation, there is no lack, there is no dissatisfaction amongst the people. And as a community also, we are a happy lot. Happiness index is quite high because of all this.
During COVID-19 pandemic, the state's COVID awareness and management initiatives have also shown community involvement and given better results. He said he applauds the government's initiative to tackle the pandemic with an all-inclusive approach.
I'm quite happy with the way the state government is handling COVID-19 prevention and precaution and treatment. They have been doing quite well. And as you just mentioned, in Mizoram we have a very positive, very widespread and very supportive community participation.
With that, we have come to the end of the special edition of Northeast Diary. Wish you all a very happy new year. Do join us next week to hear more stories from this enchanting part of India. We leave you with this beautiful song. Bye-bye.